Dining etiquette through the ages. Dining etiquette, an integral aspect of social interaction, has evolved over centuries, reflecting changes in society, culture, and class structure. The way people behave at the table, what they eat, and how they interact with one another during meals have all been shaped by various factors, including religion, economics, and cultural exchange. This video explores the history and evolution of dining etiquette, tracing its roots from ancient times to the present day. The concept of dining etiquette dates back to ancient civilizations, where the act of eating was often imbued with religious and social significance. In ancient Egypt, Greece, and Rome, elaborate banquets were a common practice among the elite, and these events were governed by specific rituals and codes of conduct. For instance, in ancient Rome, reclining on couches while eating was customary among the upper classes, and the meal was a time for both nourishment and philosophical discussion. Medieval Europe saw the development of more structured dining etiquette, particularly within the courts of kings and nobles. The medieval banquet was a grand affair, where the seating arrangement, the order in which food was served, and the manner of eating were all dictated by one social rank. The use of utensils was minimal, and diners often used their hands to eat, relying on bread as a utensil to scoop up food. However, the idea of using a knife to cut meat became more common, and the concept of table manners began to take shape, emphasizing the importance of not speaking with one's mouth full and not reaching across the table. The Renaissance, a period of great cultural and intellectual revival, brought significant changes to dining etiquette. With the rise of the bourgeoisie and the spread of new ideas about refinement and civility, the table became a place to display one's sophistication. The use of forks, which had been introduced from the Byzantine Empire, became more widespread in Italy during the 16th century and gradually spread to other parts of Europe. The fork's adoption marked a turning point in dining etiquette, as it symbolized a move towards greater cleanliness and a more delicate handling of food. The Renaissance also saw the publication of the first books on etiquette. One of the most famous is Il Galateo by Giovanni della Casa, published in 1558, which outlined proper behavior at the table, including the use of utensils, the importance of moderation in eating, and the need to avoid making unpleasant noises while dining. This period laid the foundation for modern dining etiquette, emphasizing the importance of politeness, restraint, and consideration for others. The Enlightenment period in the 18th century further refined dining etiquette as the emphasis on reason, order, and social harmony extended to the dining table. During this time, meals became more structured, with distinct courses served in a specific order. The French court, particularly under Louis XIV, became a model of refined dining, with elaborate table settings, a variety of utensils for different courses, and a formalized structure for meals. The French influence on dining etiquette was profound and spread across Europe and into the Americas. The idea of service à la Française, where all the dishes were placed on the table at once and diners helped themselves, gradually gave way to service à la Russe, where each course was served sequentially by waitstaff. This shift not only changed the way meals were served, but also placed greater emphasis on the presentation of food and the role of the host in orchestrating the dining experience. The 19th century, particularly the Victorian era, saw a significant expansion of dining etiquette as the growing middle class sought to emulate the practices of the aristocracy. This period was characterized by an explosion of etiquette manuals, which provided detailed instructions on everything from the correct use of utensils to the appropriate way to pass food at the table. Dining became a highly ritualized affair, with strict rules governing behavior, dress, and conversation. Victorian dining etiquette placed a strong emphasis on formality and restraint. The table setting became more elaborate, with a proliferation of utensils and glassware, each designed for a specific purpose. The use of multiple courses became standard, and the timing and order of these courses were carefully orchestrated. The role of women in hosting and managing the dining experience also became more pronounced, as the dinner party became a central social event in Victorian society. The 20th century brought significant changes to dining etiquette, driven by shifts in social structure, technology, and cultural norms. The two world wars, economic changes, and the rise of mass media all contributed to the democratization of dining, making formal etiquette less rigid and more accessible to a broader segment of society. In the early 20th century, dining etiquette remained relatively formal, particularly in upper-class households and at public events. However, as the century progressed, particularly after World War II, there was a marked shift towards more relaxed and informal dining practices. The spread of fast food, the popularity of casual dining, and the influence of different cultural cuisines all contributed to this change. While formal dining etiquette did not disappear, it became less central to everyday life. The latter half of the 20th century also saw the rise of new social movements that challenged traditional norms, including those related to dining. The feminist movement, for example, questioned the gender roles associated with hosting and serving at the table, while the civil rights movement highlighted the exclusionary practices of certain dining establishments. These social changes led to a more inclusive and flexible approach to dining etiquette. The late 20th and early 21st centuries have been marked by globalization and the increasing influence of multiculturalism, both of which have had a profound impact on dining etiquette. As people became more exposed to different cultures and cuisines, traditional Western dining practices began to incorporate elements from around the world. The concept of fusion cuisine, which blends elements from different culinary traditions, reflects this trend. Dining etiquette also became more flexible, with an emphasis on adaptability and respect for different cultural practices. For example, the use of chopsticks in Asian dining or the practice of eating with the hands in certain Middle Eastern and African cultures became more widely accepted and appreciated in Western contexts. Technology has also played a role in shaping modern dining etiquette. The rise of social media, for instance, has introduced new norms around taking photos of food, sharing dining experiences online, and even the etiquette of using mobile devices at the table. While some traditionalists bemoan the loss of formality, others see these changes as a natural evolution of social practices in a digital age. Today, dining etiquette continues to evolve, reflecting broader social and cultural shifts. There is a growing emphasis on sustainability and ethical eating, with considerations around food sourcing, waste reduction, and the environmental impact of dining becoming increasingly important. This shift has also influenced dining etiquette, with practices like minimizing food waste, choosing locally sourced ingredients, and considering dietary restrictions becoming part of the social code. The history and evolution of dining etiquette offer a fascinating insight into how social practices develop and change over time. From the grand banquets of ancient Rome to the formal dinners of the Victorian era, and from the casual dining of the 20th century to the multicultural influences of today, dining etiquette has continuously adapted to reflect the values, beliefs, and priorities of society. As we move forward, it is likely that dining etiquette will continue to evolve, influenced by ongoing social, cultural, and technological changes. What remains constant, however, is the role of dining as a key social activity, where the rules of etiquette serve to enhance the experience of sharing a meal with others.